What is going on, everybody? It's Joseph, beloved and glorious Mace Valor here once again, and I want to talk about DoorDash, Postmates, Grubhub, Uber Eats, Bite Squad, all that jazz. Any of these delivery platforms that people are using to make extra money, you know, performing their side hustle, or if you're on every single platform, doing it as often as you can, doing it as your full-time career choice. Anyway, let's talk about this piece of paper here. Okay, some of you people that have been driving with DoorDash have probably seen these before, and very rarely will you ever actually be handed one. I received this because it was stapled to a delivery that I had yesterday, and there was a piece of information on this sheet that it's information I already knew, but when I actually saw it in front of me, it's like, wait a minute, that's when the light bulb popped on. It's like, holy shit, dude, this answers so many. I don't know about so many questions, but it's a topic of discussion that needs to be had. And just like in the title of this video, how do these how do companies that do these delivery platforms, how do they actually make their money? And people think it's like, oh, it's from delivery. You're gonna make your wealth of money from delivery. No, just like with Amazon. Amazon does not make a killing off its delivery. In fact, if you look at Amazon Prime, what is it, like $7 a month or something like that? And you get free delivery. I mean, I can guarantee you that relatively quickly, that's not gonna add up at all whatsoever. So making money off delivery is not how these companies stay profitable. I mean, if you look at DoorDash, the reason why it's able to, the full-time employees it has, is able to pay them so well, give them benefits and all this stuff, is not because they're making money off a delivery. That's chump change, that's pennies. I mean, is it still money? Yeah. Is it still a lot of money? Well, to someone like you and me, yeah, it's a lot of money. But to someone like a company like DoorDash, the money that they make just from deliveries, that small amount, no, they're just shaking their heads at it. Let's take a look at Postmates, for example, because Postmates is far more transparent when it's showing you exactly how much money you've made for your delivery. You have you get $4 minimum, at least out here in Vegas. And as a customer from Postmates before, I've seen like, oh, okay, so I've got a delivery. The delivery charge is going to be $5, right? It's a little extra if you don't order enough. If it's under a certain dollar amount of your order, you're not going to get. You have to pay a little bit more. I think it's like an extra $2 probably. But they keep that. Postmates keeps that small order extra. That doesn't go back to the driver, and that's all because, you get a $4 minimum regardless, and they have a calculator in there to calculate how much you're going to be getting. But essentially, Postmates takes $1 for most orders. So for every delivery of Postmates that's made, Postmates itself keeps $1 from it. Now, if you think of it, it's paying out like that. The bulk of the delivery fee goes to the driver, which is cool, and that's right, and that's appropriate. But that leaves Postmates. How are they going to make money? If DoorDash is only, well, DoorDash is a different beast altogether. I'll go into that in just a minute. But with Postmates, if they're making just $1 per delivery, how else are they going to be profitable? How else are they going to generate revenue? And it's something that I've known, but I need to discuss it so that people are educated on how these companies really make money. And that is from relationships. You see, if you go to a lot of these places, you'll go to a restaurant, and when you go to pick up, they got like 3, 4, 5 tablets. Every different delivery service, it's all right there, right? And that's it can be a clusterfuck, don't get me wrong, but it's relatively decent for generating revenue for the restaurant. So that's where the relationship part comes in. Let's say I work with DoorDash and I go down to this mom and pop restaurant and like, hey, we would like to partner with you. We want to help you with your business, get more people getting your food so they don't have to come in all the time. We can do delivery, and we offer delivery, and you know, we take care of that on our end. But the customer obviously pays for delivery, so you don't have to worry about having to cover that. Oh, okay, cool, right? That sounds fucking fantastic. There's a caveat. These companies are essentially advertising for the restaurants. So in the app, on the website, the restaurant is categorized and put in place as a form of advertisement for that website or for that restaurant. So if I want some dank ass Chinese food, but I don't want Panda Express, I want something a little different, I'm gonna search around the menu and like, holy shit, there's Mr. Chopsticks down the street. I've never tried it before. I don't want to go out and get it. Let me order it from here in the app, right? And I don't have the numbers on top of me. I do got to do some more research on the merchant end of things, but as far as the information I've seen, let's say it's even 1%. So if DoorDash gets 1% of this 1613, well, that's $1.60. No, wait, that's like 10%. Whatever. Let's say they just get like 1 to 5%. Nothing huge. You don't want to have the commission percentage be too high because that will dissuade restaurants from partnering with them. But you don't want to have it too low to make it not worth it, because there is a lot of time and effort that needs to be made in order to implement that restaurant into the platform as it is, so that it can be better integrated to the customer. So, commission will be deducted from the total amount based on your agreement. From the total amount. That's another thing that gets me, which I think is probably kind of bad for the restaurants when you really think of it. Because tax already has to be paid, right? But the total amount is calculated after tax. So they're not paying commission just on the items ordered. They're paying commission on the items ordered plus 8.25% tax. That's kind of fucked up. That's kind of screwy. But that's how these companies make money and become profitable. Honestly, if I were to advise anyone in the future making a delivery platform, the subtotal should not include the tax. The tax is something that's paid by the customer. Why are you including that into what the restaurant has to pay for you as commission? I mean, you're going to make more money that way, obviously. I mean, just pennies, but still, you're going to make more money that way. But it's still highly unethical, I would say. Anyway. But that's essentially how DoorDash makes the bulk of its money. If they get orders for like $100 and the commission rate is like, let's say 5%, well, that's $5 that it got, right? And the customer is the one that already paid the delivery. Then here's another thing with DoorDash and how they make money. DoorDash makes a lot more money on delivery than a lot of other platforms. And Postmates, for example, they just take their $1, and if it's a small order, then they also take that extra fee. But with DoorDash, they have pay bonuses that are calculated based upon 50 different calculations, but they never tell you what those calculations are. They never make it transparent to the driver. That way the driver has no fucking idea. But here's the reality of it. Let's say I am a customer and I order from DoorDash. The delivery fee is $6, right? Okay, fine, no problem, $6, and I pay it. But I decide not to tip. So what DoorDash will do, DoorDash will take, DoorDash has to pay a minimum to the drivers. And out here in Vegas, it's about $7. So if I'm a customer, I don't tip. I've already paid my delivery. DoorDash will then have to go out of pocket to make sure it can cover that $7 minimum. But let's say that I'm a customer and I order, and I'm like, okay, well, I've used this platform. It's the problem with tipping ahead of time. Let me just say that. And I place an order, and I want to tip relatively well. And so I'm going to throw a $10 tip on because I had like a $45 order or whatever, and I'm just feeling generous. So what I've done is I've tipped a nice high amount. What DoorDash does on their end is they pay the driver $1. So if that delivery fee was $6, DoorDash kept $5 of it and paid $1. And then the rest of it was covered by the customer's tips. So that's the thing about DoorDash you have to understand. They don't like small orders. I mean, they'll do them because of all the high volume orders that they get, and they only have to dish out a little tiny bit. So it's something to be mindful of. It's something to think of how these companies operate. I'm telling you, these places make a killing off of building relationships with like I've gone and to any fast food place, and they have a sign up that says, oh, you wanna have delivery? Order with DoorDash, order with Postmates, and they have a little plaque there. But you still have to place the order and stuff all on your own. So it blows my mind that people just don't know this, and that's not that it affects the drivers really. That's just the company's way of earning revenue, which I think is perfectly fine. I think it's a great way to earn that. Honestly, I think realistically, probably what would be best is if it's such a weird slippery slope, because there's that one part of me that wants to say, well, focus on getting revenue from building relationships with restaurants and just give the driver the full delivery fee. But then at the same time, it's like, well, I don't know if that would be the appropriate answer either. Would it be beneficial for the driver? Yeah, but that little amount of money that comes in that it gets from delivery, that's money that can be utilized to go back into server costs and things like that. So your real profits are really going to come from the partnerships and the relationships that you build at restaurants. The money that comes in from the delivery fee, that money can be utilized to cover overhead for the platform. Because the number one way, aside from building this relationship, that's its own thing. The number one way that these places stay profitable, bar none above everything else, is minimal overhead. You keep a minimal overhead, then you're gonna be covered nice and easy. It kind of reminds me of, there's a conversation I had with someone last night about the whole Uber incident with the self-driving car hitting someone. Now, I've seen the video footage, and that driver did not have a passenger in the car. So, technically, it's not covered under Uber's insurance. It's usually from the time you pick someone up to the time you drop someone off. Same thing with their delivery stuff. The insurance that has to be covered on all our drivers, if I have a delivery with me and I'm en route to the delivery, then that insurance kicks in. What it covers is relatively a mystery. It needs to be there, but if I'm driving and I hit somebody while on a delivery, I don't know if the delivery platforms I'm with are even going to cover that, because that was my fault as a driver, or I got hit by someone and it's their fault. I think it's just because it's like a mandatory thing. I don't really think, honestly, I've never heard of anyone. If you've had an insurance issue with any of these platforms, please leave it in the comment section down below. I would like to get more educated on that, because I've never had to experience that, thank God. Anyway, yeah, so let me know what you guys think about all this bull fuckery, and this is Mace Valor as always, and I'm signing off.